a stable price level. I propose that the nuts from the big tree shall be our money. As ratio of exchange, I propose 1 pound of nuts for 100 weight of potatoes. The nuts, like the potatoes, will be subject to a process of wastage and deterioration because the oil in them is subject to evaporation. This loss will fall on the users of nut money and not on non-users. But by circulating the nut money quickly, each user will be able to keep his loss from natural shrinkage to a minimum. It will be observed that the constant loss of weight in the nut money in circulation will cause a constant decrease in the quantity of money, which will call for a constant replacement by the addition of new nut money. The annual crop of nuts will ensure an ample supply. I estimate the annual shrinkage of weight at 10% and the requisite new money at 10%. This will in fact offer a new source of public revenue and will be available for social expenses such as road construction or as may be otherwise determined. Furthermore, our nut reserves place us in a position of always being able to supply as much nut money as is necessary to preserve a stable price level. It is desirable that the same quantity of nuts shall always command the same quantity of other products. If the prices of goods tend to diminish in terms of nuts, indicating an increase in production, we can throw into the market as much money as will equate consumption with production. If prices should tend to rise in terms of nuts, indicating a diminution in production, we can diminish the volume of nut money by allowing the natural evaporation to proceed without the customary replacement. We thus establish equilibrium between supply and demand. Money they could understand. This proposal was very popular with the Baratonians. Nut money, consisting of the unused fruit of the pine tree, they felt they completely understood. It had physical form with mass, shape, and size. It could be seen, felt, and weighed. It was hard, smooth, easy to handle, of pleasant odor, and portable. With this nut money, all transactions, large and small, could be transacted easily. The Pinus moneta, the money tree, was duly walled in. The nuts were gathered and used as far as was necessary, and the redemption of potato nuts. The surplus crop was stored and served as the financial reserves of the Baratarian state. Marquez, the value theorist. In deference to the wishes of Carlos Marquez, the meeting did not accede to the wishes of Martinez in the matter of the distribution of the potatoes in the bank cellars. He felt that the potato reserve should be maintained intact because the potatoes had more intrinsic value than the nuts. The potatoes required more human labor to produce than the nuts, and the nuts could only function as money by reason of the transferred value imparted by the potatoes. It was true that the potatoes would gradually rot in the cellars, but after the putrefaction process, that is, after the abstraction of the physical qualities, there would remain an abstract of value to be imparted to the nuts of the Pinus moneta by means of a reincarnation of the soul. It is significant that although the Baratonians did not understand a word of the argument, it was unanimously accepted. Again, ignorance must be paid for. Santiago Barbino was very much amused over this tomfoolery. "What simpletons you are," he said. "Isn't this plain fetishism? Of course, he who wants to enjoy pure democracy must be prepared to pay the price. Today, this enjoyment is costing us 400,000 hundredweights of potatoes, which we permit to rot because the majority wants it to be so, because they are unable to conceive money clearly and are now victims of hollow catchwords. Fiat democratia et periat tubercula. Can't you lift yourself above matter? Can you conceive money only as inert substance and not dynamically? And yet you all permit yourselves to laugh at poor Copernicus, who well understood that the earth circled around the sun, but who could not get away from matter, and therefore made the earth revolve on its axis on a solid plane. It was Galileo who jumped this remnant of material conceptions and hurled the earth into space, where it is now permitted to circle freely around the sun. Just as Galileo considered the earth, you must consider money, free, linked with no special product, neither to gold, nor to potatoes, nor to nuts. Just as the earth receives its force of gravitation from surrounding cosmic bodies, so money draws from the stocks of merchandise of the market, for which it serves as medium of exchange, its living spirit, its dynamic function. If we take away the sun, our earth will disintegrate into dust. If we take away the merchandise, the seeds of the Pinus moneta tree will revert to what they have always been, that is, food for rats. But from the very moment when we say we sell our products of labor only for nuts of the Pinus moneta, there arises a commercial demand for them, which is exactly as large as the volume of products awaiting exchange and can be measured by it. As you know, demand for goods imparts to them the character of wares or articles of exchange at values determined by supply and demand. Formerly, the nut of the Pinus moneta was a very useless object, but now, as we have declared it to be our medium of exchange, It has become one of the most useful goods, inasmuch as we expect our medium of exchange to exchange our products rapidly, safely, and cheaply. It was therefore very foolish to permit the 400,000 hundredweights of potatoes to rot. Neither the potato notes nor the nuts of the Pinus moneta function any better because of coverage.